Boom. Let me see if it's live on YouTube. Yes, we are now going live on YouTube. So sorry guys, still learning the system here, and been on the road with vacation, and so much has happened this first week of the season. Forgive me here as I get the setup. So, yes, we are back on YouTube as well. Thank goodness. Hello, everybody who is watching on Vimeo, as well as everybody who is currently watching on YouTube. I see, boy, whoa, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. I see Sandman is in the house. I see David Lee. I see Jason P. I see Justin. I see PLO. I see Cruisin'. Oh, we should have known some of those giant trolls would be back in here. And let me do something here real quick. Welcome everybody back to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Um, just getting back into the swing of things. Just got the channel back up and running, the original channel as well. Still going to end up doing stuff on the other channel as well. How you doing, D Detailer? Thank you for joining into the show tonight, man. I got to tell you guys, it feels good to be back. And let me get Joe Boo his refill here, because we've got an important game here. 1 day, 23 hours, 16 minutes, and 33 seconds from now, we're going to be taking on those New York stinking Giants, in which basically is a game for survival. Let's be honest here, guys. 1-1 versus 0-2 are two big differences. And if we end up losing this game to the Giants, I'm not going to say that the season is over with, but I got to tell you, it's going to make it that much harder to make the playoffs. And you don't want to start out there. If there's any good news, and I've said this before because this is where I've been sitting here thinking about our season. I've been telling you I don't know how I feel about the first game against Carolina. I said because Jason Garrett is just like opposite day, Freaky Friday. Things that happen to the Cowboys don't happen to anybody else. The fact that Jason Garrett, every year that he's won the opening game, which generally speaking improves your odds of making the playoffs, never has made it to the playoffs. Just hasn't. It's funny how we got Falcons Nation over here saying that the Cowboys are in trouble Sunday night when they are in the same boat as us Cowboys. They lost as well opening night with their quarterback looking like crap and have to play against the Carolina Panthers. That's where you need to be worrying about your own team more than the Cowboys, because if you're really a fan of the Falcons, you might want to focus in on what they're doing, since at the end of the day, we're both 0-1 and you don't want to lose a game. Um, but with the Cowboys, when the Cowboys have lost the first game, Jason Garrett makes the playoffs. How you doing tonight, Jackie? Glad to see you here. Joe, Jermaine Williams, Justin, Ryan, Jerry Jones. Yeah, okay. First Lady, Marco. We got everybody up here in the house. Now, Oliver Vernon for the Giants, their stud pass rusher, is going to be out. That definitely helps us out. And Eric Flowers is going to be in. Now, here's what's funny about Eric Flowers, because we've got a fine of our own. Demarcus Lawrence is being fined $20,054. Don't ask me why they didn't just say $20,000. I don't know why they put the $54,000 on it. What's happening, Chavez? Chris Green, how you doing? Chris Senior, Ryan, Quest Cowboys. Everybody, welcome to the show. We are back on the Joe Boo Sports Report. Thank God we are back. You don't know how bad it was losing the channel for the couple of weeks. It seemed like eternity. Really getting going on the other channel. I need to do some more stuff on there as well. But we're going to keep both channels. We're going to be doing stuff on there. I made a live stream on one and do updates on the other, just so we can keep everything above board. But Eric Flowers got fined $10,000 for a hit on Calais Campbell, which is amazing. Cruising. Eli and Dak suck. Well, we're going to get to that, because this is Both teams right now are nervous about their quarterbacks, okay? So we'll get to that, cruising. Thank you very much for the super chat. Boy, it's been a long time since we've seen one of those, but thank you very, very much. But that's true. Both of them are sucking after the first week. But here's the thing when you guys, we had so many Cowboy fans, the 80%, as my man Vosh would say, that have literally given up. It's done. It's over with. We suck. Dak can't play. Hasn't had a good game in 9 games. We can't coach. We can't, block. Connor Williams, he's a bust. But stop for a second here, guys. Stop for a second because here's what happens in football. I keep trying to tell you guys, you don't know what kind of team you have until really October, and sometimes you don't even know then. We've seen teams start out 4-0 and look like they are just freaking incredible. Yet in the end, they don't make the playoffs. But we've seen the San Diego Chargers start out 0-4 and make the playoffs. We've seen the New York stinking Giants go 9-7 and beat an undefeated New England team to win the Super Bowl. Well, thank you very much, Ryan Kirk. Cruising came back to talk trash. Yeah, well, cockroaches always come out, Well, and they'll talk trash until we beat them. We beat them, you won't see them. But that's cool. We're cool. It's fine, I'm here. I was here during that loss, that ugly-ass game, and I'm here every single day standing up for my Cowboys. But if we can get this win against the Giants, which is, again, shit is crazy. The fact that we usually lose the first game and make the playoffs is still crazy. Jason Garrett just does not make any sense. 2014, Tony Romo looked about as bad a quarterback as you could to open up that season. 3 interceptions. 3. Didn't look like he could throw the ball 25 yards downfield. Yet, it was statistically one of the best years of his career. A team that could have been a Super Bowl team. 2016, we lost to the New York stinking Giants to open the season and win 13 games. So hold up. And just think, because last week everybody was on the Baltimore Ravens jock. Oh my God, the Baltimore Ravens, they only gave up 153 yards offense to the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, they were a playoff team last year. They held them to 153 yards, scored 47 points, only gave up 3. Joe Flacco is back. And what did they do last night? Joe Flacco threw about one of the worst interceptions in the first quarter that you could possibly throw. Ended up having the fumble in the end of the game that basically sealed it for the Bengals. And now, of course, everybody's on the Bengals bandwagon because they're 2-0. Oh, my God, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're great. What a difference a week makes. Last week, best defense in football, only gave up 153 yards. Last night, they gave up 359. So just relax for a minute. Let's see what we got, okay? It was a tough game on the road in Carolina with a lot of new parts. And Justin, thank you very much. Please make Jackie Smith the stream boss here. Oh, I didn't do that. Thank you. I forgot. Oh, man, it's been crazy. Thank you very much, Justin. I appreciate the super chat and the reminder. It's been crazy, guys. I got to be honest with you. It has totally been crazy. Where did my chats go? Hold on. I am messing things up here. Hang on. It's been crazy with the... I still don't understand why the hell my channel got shot down. And then trying to do everything on the other channel. And you guys know I'm technology challenged. So learning how to start all over. I can't remember how to make Jackie. Wait a minute. Damn. Hey, Mike. I can't remember how to make people a moderator. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay, there we go. Jackie's now a moderator. And as soon as we see Cam, oh, Cam. Actually, we're going to make Sandman. Sandman is one of my strongest followers. I appreciate Sandman, all he does for me. He ends up giving me words of encouragement and things. Don't know what I would do without Sandman. I don't see Sandman. Sandman, make a comment so I can see you again and make you a moderator. Um, Chris Goldman, you believe Dak will show up? I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Um, Sandman, I'm trying to find you here. What we have to make sure we do on the channel, and I'm sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. I've been doing so much driving and traveling that I'm just really out of my element. Um, Getting back in here because it's been really a week since I've really been able to do anything here and going from one channel to the other, and also with the Vimeo. Hopefully the quality looks a lot better on here than it did before. So do me a favor. We can't have the garbage that we had before on the channel on the channel. So I can't watch all the comments and things because we get so many of you guys that are rolling through that if you end up seeing somebody, let Miss Jackie know or say, man, there's Sandman. Sandman, you're frying eggs. Man, send me some, man, because I didn't cook dinner tonight. Sandman, you're a moderator for future use and stuff anyway, too. But definitely send me a picture of the fish and eggplant. So what we got to do with the Giants is keep pressure on Eli. Everybody is down on Dak. In fact, the talking heads, everybody's picking the New York Giants for the win. We're favored by 3 because we're the home team, but yet the talking heads are all giving the Giants the advantage on it. And as bad as Dak was, the good thing I can say is Jewel, thank you very much for some. Oh, sorry, Chaz, didn't mean to call you Chaz Green. Damn, Chaz Jewel, thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna get Chaz. I'm getting working on that this weekend and between now and Monday. So I got to go down to Waynesboro tomorrow, pick up the dog, come back, get the pork shoulder cooking and things, and then get ready for the game. But we're going to get that taken care of. Life has just been crazy. But we got to keep pressure on Eli Manning. Eli Manning, as bad as Dak was last week, an 81 QBR, Eli Manning is just as bad, if not worse. Eli had 224 yards, and you can't say that they don't have wide receivers. You have Odell Beckham, who just got that fat contract. You got Sterling Shepard. You've got receivers there, so you can't say that, these guys are new to him. Yet he only had 224 yards and interception, no touchdowns. You had Barkley, who had a huge run and stuff, and yet Eli, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, still not that good. The Giants may look back and realize that they screwed the pooch by taking Barkley. And not that Barkley is a bad player, but the fact that they were second in the draft, that they could have taken a quarterback without having to give up a king's ransom. And they're steaming Willie Beeman, laughing about my Cowboys. Dog, I hate to tell you that your offense looked as putrid as my Cowboys did. Yes, you got to win at home. You got to win at home, but you don't have that much to cheer about. When you look at what the Atlanta Falcons offense put out on the field, that wasn't exactly top-notch competition. And I would dare say, yes, you're 1-0, but I think that you got some things to worry about. Nick Foles is looking more like Nick Folds. But we're not here to talk about the Giants. We're going to worry about our Cowboys. Now, I know you got Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay actually scores some points. You're playing in Tampa, so, good luck with that. You probably will get that win there, too. You'll probably start at 2-0. But if you can put pressure on Eli Manning can't run anymore because he is getting up there. Eli Manning, generally speaking, is a guy that will go for the dirt. He's going to hit the dirt. He's not taking a shot. He is not going to stand in the pocket with pressure. And with Eric Flowers out there against DeMarcus Lawrence, who is a one-man wrecking gang. When you think about what DeMarcus Lawrence did last week, 7 tackles total. 3 of them tackles for losses. Let me say it again. 3 tackles for losses, 7 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery. Robert, I wish I were going to the game. Unfortunately, I've got to reevaluate the games that we're going to be going to and stuff like that. The hiccup on the channel just kind of really threw things out of whack. So originally we had planned on going to the Carolina game. No more trolls. Yes, Boomer Sooner. That's right. No more trolls. Now remember, there are some decent trolls that are in here. Boomer? Don't go through just anybody who's an Eagle fan, because we do have some good Eagle fans. There's some Eagle fans that actually stood up for me when the whole channel came down. We're talking about the ones that are, booty hole guy. We can definitely get that guy. Guys that are here that are just being, I hope Dak Prescott breaks his leg. Those kind of guys are the people that we want to eliminate. Mike, you're saying something? Oh, man.
That's the fake Vosh.
Okay, so, yeah, the fake Vosh guy, which is / booty hole guy.
Well, he deleted the comment before I can block him.
Fear the Giant. Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
Then why are you here? Okay. Oh, there you are, Cam. Cam. There you go. All right, so we're going to keep you a moderator on both channels because we're going to be using both channels. Yes, Jackie, perfect. No personal attacks. Like I said, if you want to talk bad about my Cowboys, I get that. We're okay with that. But let's switch up here and let's go to our fearless leader, Jason Garrett, and get his thoughts as we get ready to take on
How we doing, guys?
the Giants.
Got an update on Randy Gregory. Will he practice today?
We do anticipate Randy practicing today, yes.
So he's out of protocol.
Yeah, he's able to practice today.
As far as with that protocol, does he have to? Do players have to work a day and then see how they feel again before they're fully out of that?
I'm not the most expert person on answering that question. I know there are different stages along the way, and he was cleared to practice today, so hopefully he handles that well and we'll go forward for the game.
How did Marcus Lawrence look yesterday?
Yeah, it looked like he did well. Handled the work well, and hopefully he's able to practice again today.
What is it that has made him so effective? You win both teams, know that he's coming off that edge, but he's still been able to get sacks.
I just think he's a really good player. That's the evaluation we had of him coming out of school, and he dealt with some injuries early on in his career. But really, every time he had an opportunity to play, he was doing positive things. And he's been healthy here the last couple of years. He's worked very hard at all parts of his game to refine his craft as a pass rusher. He plays with a relentless spirit. He has a lot of ability. The mentality that he plays with is really the thing that I think separates him. And he keeps going. He's 100 miles an hour against the run and against the pass, and he shows up in the game. And a really good player for us.
You think of DeMarcus as a speed guy off the edge all those years here. Does DeMarcus Lawrence have a go-to move that you think of, or is it more about the energy that he plays with?
Well, again, he's a very talented guy. I don't like to compare players at all. Obviously, DeMarcus Ware was an elite player for a long time around here, but DeMarcus Lawrence might do it a little bit differently than that. He has his whole repertoire of moves that are effective for him. There's no question he plays with a relentless spirit. His motor is going 100 miles an hour all the time, and again, he shows up against the run, he shows up against the pass, so been a very productive player.
Can you go back to Randy Gregory for a second? If he's practicing today, is there any reason that you wouldn't think he would play Sunday?
Again, with all of our players, whenever they're coming back off of an injury or in the concussion protocol, you just take it step by step. So he's been cleared to practice today, so we're certainly hopeful as we go forward.
You had Rico inactive last week. Was that put solely in the home field football decision, or was that partly the consequences you referenced, after the arrest? Was that part of it?
Yeah, again, we always keep any consequences we have with any player in-house. So, the biggest thing with Rico is getting him opportunities to learn and grow as a player and get him to the point where we're comfortable putting him in there. And there's always going to be good competition for who's active every week. The tight end position, receiver position, all across our defense. So it's just a function of that. We're going to try to put the best guys out there who can help us win that game that week.
Is he ready to be active on game day?
Absolutely is. He's certainly in that competition.
Last week you had Vandross play all three and played some Sam for you. Did he take many Sam snaps this summer for you guys, or was it mostly at the?
I would say those are the reps he took the least. He's in the meetings. One of the things that we think is important for linebackers and really throughout our defense is versatility and having a comfort level. And at that position, you have to be ready to play a couple different spots in a couple different situations. And he's a smart guy. Thought he handled that work really well among the other things he did in the game.
On the snap count last week, just because he hadn't played and hadn't practiced for a while and really get more time this week.
Yeah, when we talk about snap count, we just have general parameters for how we want to play the guys who are rotating into the game, and he was a part of that. And the reason more than anything else was just coming back off the injury. We wanted to make sure he was ready to go, and again, he handled it well.
Also, he could continue to get more just this week just because he had him last week.
Yeah, we do anticipate him being part of the rotation. We like the other guys. We want to give the other guys a chance to play, and certainly he gives us the chance to spell them, talking about Sean and Jalen. So feel good about what he did in week 1 and excited about his future.
Coach, I came down from Boise and doing something on the Boise State guys. I know you've been asked about it before, but what is it about that group and their makeup that when they come out of Boise that you guys like?
Well, I think it's really important whenever you evaluate a player that you evaluate the individual player. You got to be careful about saying he came from this place, so he has all these qualities, or he came from this place and he has these qualities. So we're very careful not to just give people credit or minimize them because of where they came from. But having said that, there's certainly a culture up there that we believe in. We know that those guys have been coached hard and coached well. And, typically our experience has been they love football, they love to compete, they love to practice. And, we've had a number of guys from Boise through the years, Orlando Scandrick, D-Law, Tyrone Crawford, I can keep going, Kellen Moore. All these guys have been really productive for us, and they go about it the right way. So they do an outstanding job.
Okay, that's enough of Jason Garrett. I can only take Jason Garrett for so long. You don't have to put Cruz in timeout for saying that Dak sucks, okay? We're okay with those kind of comments. It's when we get guys that are, trolling and just basically saying stuff against individuals and things in here. But, I'll be honest with you, and I know a lot of you guys are going to say that I'm not realistic, and see some people are pointing out that Tony Romo was coming back from injury, which is true. In 2014, he was coming back from injury, but you had to wonder, when you looked at that game, everybody looked. Here's the thing that I'm trying to explain to you. When you looked at that game and you looked at Tony Romo, you looked at that team, you figured this season is done. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter whether he was coming back from injury or what have you. 2016, you had Dak Prescott playing his first game as an NFL quarterback. We lost it. The point being is, when we had those games, we thought that everything was done and over with and that we were screwed. Boy, I'm just screwed up tonight. That was not plugged in. Let me know if the sound quality is okay on that. And that's my point being is, the first game, you hate to lose games, period. But the first game, you thought the season was over with. That's what I'm trying to bring out to you guys. Understand that the first game, losing it, does not mean the season is over, especially with the Dallas Cowboys, because we're just not normal. Let's be honest. We're just not normal when it comes to normal statistics. So that's what I'm trying to bring up. Understand that we had a preseason that we just didn't do jack with. We did not play Zeke Elliott at all, period. You end up losing your center. And you're bringing in Joe Looney, who's getting his first start. You're bringing in Connor Williams, a rookie, and a lot of people say he's a bust. Well, he had 4 bad plays. First game, 4 bad plays against one of the best front sevens in football. Okay, understand, the guys on the other side of the field get played. Too loud now? Okay, let me turn it back down a little bit. Thanks. I didn't have the microphone plugged in completely. Hopefully that's better. If that's still too loud, let me know. So that's my point being is give the team some time to gel. The wide receivers have not played together with the quarterback in a game. I mean, you can do it in practice. Sound problem? All right, I can hear fine. I'm seeing, okay, so Cowboys Nation is saying sound problem, and I've got Parker saying you can hear fine. So are we hearing fine or are we not hearing fine? So let me know, somebody else, if it's just maybe just on your side. Good now. Okay. So give the offense a chance. I mean, you can't say one game is the whole season. One game does not define the season, the beginning of the season. So give it some time. Don't jump off just yet. If it ends up being Giants game and then, of course, the Seattle game, and the offense is still not doing anything, then it'll be time to worry. But take a look at the Eagles. Take a good look at the Eagles. Their offense was pretty putrid too. Their defense kept them into it. Take a look at the Falcons. Their offense was pretty putrid, regardless of what Falcons Nation says. A lot of teams' offense looked out of whack. So just slow your roll here. In fact, you would think that Dak Prescott was the worst quarterback this past week. But Marcus Mariota, his numbers were worse. Cam's numbers weren't any better. Eli Manning's QBR wasn't good. You can look at the NFC East, and the only quarterback that actually played well in the NFC East this past week was the Redskins. Just saying. Give them some time. Sounds great, Mark. Thank you, Derek. How you doing tonight? They won the game. That's what matters. Well, I can't argue about the Eagles winning the game, and I agree. And that's the difference of winning the game versus losing the game. They won, so nobody's talking about how bad Nick Foles played because they won. But because we lost, of course, everybody's going to look back and say, well, Dak sucked. Okay, I agree. Dak sucked. The whole offense sucked. We only ran Zeke Elliott 15 times in the game. If your identity is run the ball, how is it you're only running 15 times? Yeah, Eric, don't believe that the Redskins are Super Bowl bound, okay? It was the Cardinals. The Cardinals, okay? Come on, man. And the Redskins have the Colts this weekend at home, so that's going to be an interesting one. Of course, we have the Giants. The Eagles kind of have a bye week with Tampa Bay, although Tampa Bay, I think, may end up being better off without Winston. You got the Falcons against the Panthers. That's going to be an interesting one to see which one of those two teams. I got to be honest, neither of their offense did that much. It seems like the defenses are kind of taking over. Yes, Extreme Archer, you could go 2-0. Yes, you very much could. Derek, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you. It was just one ugly game. But listen, here's the sad thing about this whole situation, though. Think about this. Think about what our defense did. 3 sacks. 3 sacks. Cam Newton had only 160 yards passing. They only gave up 270 yards total. For the most part, Cam was contained. Cam got a couple of good runs. I think he rushed for 58 yards or so. But the defense did the job. And where I was scared to death, where I was on the bandwagon for Earl Thomas, because I'm like, Kevon Frazier, I know he's frat brother of my buddy Irvin, but I'm kind of like, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. And I'm like, Jeff Heath? Oh, man. Jeff Heath. Oh, thank you. I didn't get over it. Jeff Heath, Mr. I need to take some geometry classes because I take bad angles. I've been like, I don't know. But that defense played lights out. Kevon Frazier had 8 freaking tackles. Let me say it again. Kevon Frazier had 8 tackles. If there was anybody actually to worry about, was Sean Lee looked like he was not quite there. But we had so many guys, such a good pass rush, such good run blocking discipline, keeping our lanes and our assignments, that the defense was damn good. But nobody is thinking about that. Nobody is thinking about that at all. Forced a fumble. So we got a turnover. We're doing things on defense that we haven't been able to do. And hopefully, as our offense takes some time to get used to playing together, as Dak gets himself together, and now that he's accepting the challenge, hopefully, that defense is going to give us some time to get the offense together. And maybe for once, instead of us peaking early in the season where we look like that great team in September and October and then can't bust a grape come December, maybe this is the alternate universe where we don't peak until late in the season. We're actually battle tested. We're young and going to be able to hold up. The fact that we got out of this game without having, very many injuries other than Randy Gregory getting knocked a little woozy. 18 points is not a blowout. You're right about that. The Dallas Cowboys suck. Now, that's a guy you can block. Or put in timeout. Give a super chat, Steaming Willie Beeman. Okay. Here's the stuff, 16 games, that there's no such thing as a peak. Here you go with the stuff. It's 16. No. DJ Grand, you are completely 100% wrong. Take a look at the Dallas Cowboys throughout most of Tony Romo's era and what would happen. And I'm not going to say it was Tony Romo, because if you actually look at DeMarcus Ware's numbers, DeMarcus Ware had the majority of his sacks the 2 first months of the season, and very few come December. You have guys that play well in the beginning of the season. You have guys that play better in the end of season. And it's usually the teams, one, that are healthier at the end of the season that play better in the back half of the season. We've seen our Cowboys come out in the first half and they are just knocking people down. And you see teams, of course, that's the Super Bowl team in the first 2 months of the season. But by the end of the year, they can't beat anybody. That's peaking. Now, if you don't believe that teams will go through highs and lows, then you really don't follow football much. Well, Lisa, 23-17 does not sound like a stretch on that one at all. Yeah, well, Sandman, that's also what I heard too, that David Irving, and that's where a lot of people were surprised that he can actually start doing physical workouts. He can't practice yet. Cannot practice yet, but he can actually start doing strength and conditioning training, which is actually, I think, huge to get him back up to speed. Because you'll remember when he reported to training camp, they basically said, Buck Holmes, Mark, I love you, Dad. Oh, okay. Buck Holmes, Mike, do you have a brother named Buck that I don't know about? All right, Buck, well, I appreciate that. Welcome to the family. But the fact that he's able to start working out is great, because we're going to be able to add him into the rotation. And hopefully by the time these next 3 games are up, he'll be ready to rock and roll. Philly Fanatic, I agree with you 100%. This is where I kind of did a video yesterday, and I started thinking about this, because it seems like the Cowboys are breaking into 2 camps, okay? Jerry Jones, over the course of, say, the last 6 years, has done less and less. Jerry Jones had Will McClay, who started doing, the scouting, the drafting, and things like that. And you look and see the Cowboys have changed the philosophy. Instead of making trades like 2 number 1s for Roy Williams, bringing in free agents like a T.O. or a Greg Hardy, or going out and getting a Brandon Carr. That philosophy has changed, where we're no longer in deficit spending. And by that I mean, of course, salary cap. Usually at the end of the year, we'd end up having about $20 million plus that we'd have to gut just to get down to the salary cap. We have almost $20 million right now. And if we don't spend that on somebody, and it doesn't look like we're going to, that gets rolled into next year. So that puts us even further ahead on the salary cap. Now, you can look and say, yeah, you got cap room, but do you have all the horses you need in wide receivers? That maybe, and we'll find out by the end of the season, if they should have spent a little bit more money to bring in an impact player. I can't tell you if that's the case just yet or not from one game. You can look at it and say, nobody did anything spectacular from the free agents that we brought in. But it's a change of philosophy. It was Des Bryant might be a locker room cancer or a coach killer or whatever you want to call it. But that's the camp of Stephen Jones. That's the camp of Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan. Jerry has been kind of like, okay, they're running the organization. He had to be the bad guy and let him go. But you can see he's not real happy about it. He's already kind of let you know that play calling is an issue. He believes in Dak Prescott. Yeah, well, we'll see if Earl, thanks for Super Chat, Chaz. We'll see what Earl does in week 3. It might be after week 3 when you see Seattle interested in trying to trade him, but who knows? But that's definitely a dead horse there. But I think Jerry, if the offense continues to go south, I think you're going to see Jerry Jones really step in again like he used to and go ahead and try and change things. A lot of people want to say, let's bring Dez back. But I don't think you can bring Dez back at this point because you burn bridges with that situation. Scott Linehan, Jason Garrett, they got their way on that situation and got rid of them. You undermine them as the coaches. Now, I'm not saying that Scott Linehan has earned anything because I look at Scott Linehan and think about his days with the Detroit Lions and kind of say, yeah, what's his pedigree? I haven't seen anything spectacular from him. If anything, I see a lack of creativity with the offense. Now, I can't blame all of last week on that. When you have 6 sacks, that's on the offensive line. When you have 11 penalties, that's on the players making the penalties. So there are things that happen that kind of screwed you, but you've got to make sure you have. Cowboys Nation, good point. Why save money on redesigning when you have isn't working? Well, that's true. But understand also, too, Cowboys Nation, it's difficult to win the Super Bowl. Only one team will do it a year. And you need not only to have great players, great coaching, you need a bit of luck, you need health and everything else. So that window is really small about getting there. And when you look at our team, let's be honest now. When Jason Garrett first was hired, we had 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. It was just the definition of mediocre. Through the course of the last 4 years, you've actually had pretty good record. Actually, one of the better records in football. You had the 12-4, the 4-12, the 13-3, and even last year at 9-7. That's not that far away. And understand, you've now turned the roster over completely, where you're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. So when you start looking at that, understand, we don't have a lot of experience here right now. You got guys that are learning. So give it a little bit of time. I'm not ready to give up on this team just yet after one game. No, Cleveland, I wouldn't have given up a number 1 for Earl Thomas. That was even a number 2 for me was high. To me, a number 3 should have been able to get that deal done. When you think that Jimmy Garoppolo went for a second-round pick, who is a young quarterback, what makes you think that an aging safety is worth a number 1? That's just crazy. Well, I agree with you on Jason Garrett that we definitely need some more fire. Now, the question is, if the offense continues to go south, will Jerry make a move as far as Scott Linehan? And I think that could be a possibility where if the offense stays, because pretty much Scott Linehan got his way. He got Kellen Moore as a quarterback coach. He's been making all the calls. He wanted to get rid of Des Bryant and things like that. I could see Jerry Jones saying, Scott Linehan, you're out. Jason Garrett, you're the next man up. And then putting it all on Jason Garrett to fight for his job. Brian, no, I have not been out to the driving range. Not in a long time. I've only been out a few times. Don't have a lot of time to go golfing. You're already looking at college quarterback talent. Okay, in the draft. Okay. Our first round picks, well, Van Der Esch, yeah, it'll be a while before you see him on the field. Yeah, I agree. Kellen Moore, that's where you kind of wonder. You know, with Kellen Moore, I'm not saying that he's not going to be a great coach, but basically right now what we're doing is we're having Scott Linehan relayed to Kellen Moore to relay to Dak Prescott. So Scott Linehan is also then your quarterback coach. And I can't say that I have a whole lot of confidence in Scott Linehan's offense. I like that, Albert. That's funny. Derek, you know, I tell you what, I'm with you on that one, that there's so many people that just talk about how bad Dak is. And look around. Look at what Jimmy Garoppolo is making and what he did. Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't done jack crap, and yet only person they talk about is Dak Prescott. If the Cowboys go 0-2, is it time to panic? It's time to start putting up a red flag if they go 0-2. Let's make no mistake about it. This is a really important game here. The Cowboys really can't afford to go ahead and go 0-2. I won't say that the season is over, but you have to start looking at it and saying, we got a whole lot of real questions. We went 0-2 with Emmitt Smith being out and ended up winning the Super Bowl. But I'm not going to say that that's the same type of team here. But I think if they do, if we go out and look as bad as we did offensively this week, I could see Jerry Jones making a change with Scott Linehan. And or I could see Jason Garrett saying, I'm going to take over the play calling. Because at some point now, Jason Garrett, and you look at him on the sidelines, Jason Garrett isn't quite the happy-go-lucky guy that he used to be. Jason Garrett, I think, is beginning to feel some of that pressure that, you know, my job is on the line. And it may be that he finally says, you know what, if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get fired doing it my way. That's where I agree with you, Wonder Fizz, about the coaching staff. You know, you believe in Dak, but do you believe that this staff can work with him? And I'm not sure that they can. You look at the Rams with Jared Goff in his first year under Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher, who was thought to be a Super Bowl coach, not a Super Bowl winner. But you looked at him and said, okay, he knows what he's basically doing. You know, if you can't get Jared Goff to play, then maybe Jared Goff sucks. But then you looked at what another coaching staff was able to do with them. They figured out, okay, here's his strengths. Let's work with that. We've got a running game. Let's go from there and use his talents. And that's where I'm not sure about this team. The thing that you got to know about Dak Prescott is Dak is better on the move. Dak is better outside of the pocket. Move the pocket around, get him out in space, and start using his legs. That's what Norv Turner really used. We can't keep making excuses about players being out. It's coaching. New England doesn't care. Brian, thank you very much for the super chat. You're right on that. We do make a lot of excuses for the players and stuff being out, and other teams end up winning with players being out. Hence the Eagles. And when you look at what we've done over the years, let's be honest. We have gone through. We have changed the players up. We have gotten one of the best offensive lines in football. We've had a quarterback who was one of the top ones in the league. You had the Rookie of the Year quarterback. You had the best offensive line in football. You had the NFL rushing champion, yet you couldn't win a playoff game. At some point, when do you look at that and say, you know what, maybe it's not the players and it is the coaches? Just saying. I know a lot of people won't agree with me, and I know Vosh won't, but you got to start looking at that and start questioning it. Just take a look at our defense, for example. And I know it's only one game that we're looking at. But what our defense did last week in Carolina, I don't remember seeing our defense playing defense like that in a long time. And in essence, that's the same guys we had on the field. We didn't bring in any super studs. We didn't change a whole lot other than Chris Richard. And that defense doesn't look like the defense that we had when we played Atlanta or Green Bay. Doesn't look like the defense we played when we had the Rams. That defense looked like the good old days of the Dallas Cowboys doomsday defense. And when you look at our cornerbacks, we got basically nobody's in the grand scheme of things as far as safeties go. I'm not sure that anybody's going to say that Jeff Heath or Kevon Frazier's, are Pro Bowlers, at least not yet. Awuzie, okay, yeah, you say he was a good player, but you're looking at nobody out there other than Sean Lee being a Pro Bowler and DeMarcus Lawrence. Yet that team looks head and shoulders better than they were last year, where the biggest change was Chris Richard. Now, is that the case that we have with our offense? You know how many coaches would be licking their chops to have the guys that we have for our offense? Well, Lisa, I think Beasley's going to definitely. Here's the thing that you look at, and I know everybody is down on Dak, but here's at least the one thing in our offense that I have to at least say that I felt better about. For once, after halftime, our offense looked better in the second half than the first half. We really didn't do anything the first half. The second half, we started, I know it was only 8 points. I know, I got that. But the second half, the team started to look like they were making adjustments, making some changes, and starting to move the ball. Cole Beasley is really the only receiver that's really worked with Dak other than Terrence Williams, of course. Terrence, I don't know where he went through that game. He just completely disappeared. But Cole Beasley looks like he's ready to rock and roll, and he is the one right now that Dak has a repertoire with. I would still like to see them do more run-pass options. I would like to see them move the pocket around, get Dak out in space, and they've got to run the freaking ball more than 15 times to Zeke. My headline says, well, Quest, that might be because when I originally started, I actually had this set on the other channel, and that channel, it was on for only for a few minutes, and I think it still has like 18 people that are watching. So I've got to get this reset up because I've changed up. But it's all good. There definitely is more than 3 people watching on here. And it's still, believe it or not, stuff is still beginning to come back slowly on this channel from it being shut down. Still don't know why it was shut down. Keith, you are 100% predictable ass offense. No, actually, Cleveland, I have been on the road. I have not seen hardly anything. Well, David, you know what? Before we throw Jason Garrett and all of them completely under the bus, let's give them a couple of weeks and see where we go. I still believe that this still is a lot of working new parts that's going to take time to get together. Jake the Great, 1984. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. And Philly, you are, and this is the other thing people don't seem to take into account too. Carolina is a great defense. That wasn't like we were playing Mary Sisters of the Poor. Carolina is a lights out defense, and they were, for the most part, healthy. Luke Kuechly when he's healthy, that dude is a killer. So they didn't exactly have a lot to work with being the first game. So understand, there's other teams that aren't going to be quite as good defensively. One of them being the Giants coming up this weekend. So let's just relax just a little bit. Yeah, for whatever reason, Catholic Bell, they just still keep Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett should have been gone a long time ago. Do I think we win, Brian? I think we're going to get the win on Sunday. I think our defense is going to get to Eli. I think Eli is going to end up having his usual turnover fest game. And Barkley, I'm still not sold on. He had that one run for 60-some yards, but other than that, I think 17 carries for 33 yards. It was not doing a whole lot. So, he'll get a 1 or 2 good runs in a game. But I'm not sure that that's going to be a great rushing attack with that offensive line. Remember, they still have Eric Flowers paying. How you doing, Deontay? And I see our favorite troll, Falcons Nation, who needs to be worrying about his team, is still trolling on the other channel. Earl Thomas, you got a bet with your brother. Okay, that we win. I'm hoping we win. Well, you're right, Palmer. Their front seven is elite, and the corners don't have to be elite with that front seven, because that front seven of theirs smothers you. Yeah, Ben, actually, the way we're doing this, because when my channel was shut down, it was like everybody was coming at me like, we need to see Joey's Sports Report. And I couldn't get control of my other channels because basically I forgot what the email addresses were for it and couldn't figure out how to get to it. So I went to Vimeo, and I started out with Vimeo, which is night and day different than YouTube as far as the clarity, the stuff that you can do with it, and things. And as opposed to YouTube, once you upload it to YouTube, basically they have control of it. And when the channel was shut down, I could not get to any of my videos. So now I actually upload everything to Vimeo, and then I can stream it to YouTube. So right now, currently, we have a stream that's going on Vimeo, and we have a stream that's going on here as well. And it's kind of cool that you can do multiples. You can't do Facebook and YouTube because Facebook won't allow you to do both of them, but I could go Vimeo, and I could do multiple channels on Facebook and stuff. So it's kind of going in another direction, but at least now I own all my own material in my own 7 terabytes of storage on Vimeo. So if something happens, I've got 2 YouTube channels as well as Vimeo, so they can't stop me completely. Thank God. Mr. Morgan, I agree with you that they need to start using Rico. And Michael got his Rico Gathers jersey, so he's ready to support my man. But here's the thing to me. If Dak's accuracy is a problem, if guys getting open is a problem, then why the heck aren't you using Rico? Rico, you don't have to be that accurate. Dude can jump over people. Throw it up high. Let him go up and get it. He can go around guys and reach it.
Throw it to a defender.
Right, throw it to the defender. He'll take it from the defender. This is where the Cowboys get stuck on stupid, say that's not the way we do things. Well, okay, I can understand that if every other year you're winning the Super Bowl saying that this is the way we do things, but you haven't won shit. You have not been past the first round of the playoffs here, okay, with the exception against the Lions. So maybe it's time to start thinking about doing things differently than your Jason Garrett, that's the way we don't this is the way we do things, because you haven't done jack. $27-14, Yvonne. I could see that. You'll bet $100 that Rico will be inactive. Yeah, well, it's possible, but at some point they need to try and take a look at it. If you're not getting more than what we got from our tight ends last time, then you're really messing up. Jake the Great, Cowboys 27, Giants 17. Well, division games, it's crazy, but it always seems like with the Giants, they're always tight games. They're always tight games. And, I'm going to say the Cowboys score 27. 27. I think the Giants are going to play a little bit better on offense. 27-17 will be my prediction. Matt, I still have I still don't have boxes to put them in that fit them right. I've got to work on that this weekend. So just hold your horses. I know 4 of them I found the addresses for, so I'm going to get those sent out right now. And anybody else who that are past winners, get back and send me an email, because like I said, I'll be honest with you, I suck at keeping up with shit. Everything gets stuck in my head when it comes, as you guys know, with me changing shit around. I just lose it. I've got 3 different emails addresses between Cowboys Cowboys Mark 94, Spread the Mojo, and Mark Woodbore, that I just lose shit and I just cannot find it. Just even figuring out how to get the moderators on here, I'm like, Mike, how do I get? Oh, there it is. So understand that I'm getting old and a little forgetful, so bear with me. Dak in this offense won't put up 27. Oh man, I'm about ready to bet you on that one. Vosh for president of the 80% users. Okay. I'm not going to take callers tonight. We'll take callers on Monday night. I think I'd take Jesse James over Thomas on that one. Dak throws 2 TDs. Oh, I pray that, oh my God. You guys don't know how much I hope and pray that Dak has a great game, just so we can stop all the hate out there. My God. Cowboys 17, Giants 14. Jackie, thank you so much for moderating tonight. Cam, thank you. Sandman, hopefully the fish and the eggplant were great. Brethren, you might want to hold on to those that box of wipes, because you might be crying your damn self. Cowboys will score 14 points, 7 of those through a pick 6. Wow. Okay. Ye have little faith. All right, guys, I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. I got a lot of work to do to get this thing back together and all, because I've just been gone. But we're going to get this stuff together. Thank everybody for all the support that you guys have given me, the super chats and everything else. I'll get those shirts and things out this weekend. And we're going to be ready to rock and roll on Sunday. Hopefully, I know the stinking New York Giant fan is going to be here for the game. Hopefully, DMV Blue will be here, as well as Irvin, my man. I'm sorry, Cowboys Nation will be here, hopefully, and Clarence missing in action. So we'll start getting the season now kicked off right. But, guys, make sure you take it easy out there. If you're anywhere near what was a hurricane, make sure you guys stay safe. And I will see you guys later.